With Christmas comes Christmas babies. Teaching family the true meaning of Christmas. And NCD Top Cop calls on city residents to be responsible.
This is the National EMTV News with Mary Bertulo.
With Christmas comes Christmas babies. Teaching family the true meaning of Christmas. And NCD Top Cop calls on city residents to be responsible.
This is the National EMTV News with Mary Bertulo.
A very good evening and Merry Christmas to you all. Thank you for joining us for the news this Christmas Day. It's normal for Christians to name their newborn baby with biblical names, either a name of a saint or holy people who have lived a good and holy life, or a leader of the church who has been inspiring. Names like Emmanuel, meaning God is with us, which never go out on style and are among the most popular names for boys. And this story is centered on the birth of Christ in the New Testament. For parents Momo and Raka from Central Province, naming their child Emmanuel was one of the greatest gifts this Christmas. Although choosing a name for a baby can be a tough and overwhelming decision, especially for first-time parents.
It was bundles of joy for families who welcomed new members into their family this Christmas. Newborn baby Emmanuel was the first to be delivered at the Port Moresby General Hospital at 12:15 this morning. He weighed 3.5 kilograms, born to Momo and Raka Asi.
Sorry, Manuel. Sorry, Manuel.
It was a beautiful Christmas gift and blessing to them after losing their firstborn.
My second baby boy.
And we are very happy. Thank you.
Even baby Emmanuel's grandmother also witnessed his birth, and naming the newborn baby Emmanuel is just timely.
His name is Emmanuel Momo Asi from Porebada and Roku. So Merry Christmas to you all, and thank you for this wonderful baby.
Emmanuel was one of the 24 newborn babies delivered at the Port Moresby General Hospital between Christmas Eve and 12 midday today. In the meantime, MTV was not allowed to film the maternity ward as directed by the hospital management due to its policies. MTV News also visited the Pacific International Hospital, but no baby was reported to be born at the time of this broadcast. Lillian Kinea, National MTV News.
And Engau Memorial Hospital in Leh in Marbeh Province at 8 a.m. this morning recorded the heaviest baby weighing 4.1 kilograms. Jackson Emmanuel Daniels was among 11 babies born this Christmas as of 12 today. 2 girls and 9 boys, including a pair of twin boys.
This Christmas brought joy and happiness to 10 mothers in Leh who gave birth to 11 healthy babies between 12 midnight and 12 noon today. The hard-working nurses at Engau's labor ward delivered 2 girls and 9 boys, including twin boys this morning. A bank officer in Leh, Monica Nahal, was one of the happiest mothers who gave birth to a baby boy with the heaviest weight of 4.1 kilograms at 8 a.m. today.
Actually, me due 23rd December, but then me carry now 25th December, which is Christmas, na me mama slow. And then the weight the baby too, it's the biggest baby lo Christmas time. So me name him after lo. They give him the Christmas name them, so it's also a gift. Me talk thank you, Lord God.
Leh's Engau Hospital Labor Ward is one of the busiest wards. Every day, there are mothers being admitted and babies are born. The mothers and babies are assisted every day on shifts by 6 nurses and a doctor in the evening and 10 nurses and a doctor during the day. Monica said the birth of her second son, Jackson Emmanuel Daniels, is the best Christmas gift. Monica and her baby will be discharged tomorrow to go home and celebrate Christmas with the rest of the family. She would like her son to grow and be trained and guided in a godly manner. Julie Badui Owa, National MTV News, Leh.
NCD Metropolitan Superintendent Pero Drano is calling on Port Moresby residents to be responsible this Christmas and New Year. He said the public must also take precautions from opportunists. In the meantime, police have started their Christmas and New Year special operations.
The Metropolitan Superintendent has commended the city residents for taking extra precautions this festive season.
Well, we had about 14 SME in 7 days, but we had 6 in the last 7 days, 6. So this is a half. So I attribute to everybody being respectful of Christmas, and even the offenders decided to get to church and all these things, so probably they're not doing so. In motor vehicle problem, it's down by half.
Recent string of events in Port Moresby have been posted on social media on road accidents and frequent hold-ups. Yesterday, a PMV bus overturned at Waigani due to the bus driver being intoxicated. No casualties were reported.
Accident, and once again, my message to our motorists and residents: be careful in the way you drive, and road users respect each other and have the right attitude to drive. It's a skill that require you to be absolutely in right condition to drive, and drinking is not one of those conditions.
With hold-ups and vehicles being stolen, the MetSup urged drivers to take extra precaution and be responsible.
How of the time that we experience Amalaf Tolova is they've been trailed by suspected vehicle. So all they need to do is be more careful in the way they drive, observe who's coming at the rear, and if you suspect that there is somebody following you, you pass your location and drive to the nearest police station or public area that can deter that. If not, you have to pass your house once, double back, and then call your people at home to be mindful when you stop. I think that's the issue with this, that we're not careful who is following us.
At the same time, some youths are probably getting...
Meanwhile, police in Port Moresby will be out in full force for Christmas operations up until New Year's. Adelaide Sirkskari, National MTV News.
Christmas celebrations are also taking place in other parts of the globe, including the Iraqi city of Mosul. The faithful there celebrated Christmas for the first time in 4 years after ISIS was driven out earlier this year. In Afghanistan, US and NATO troops stationed in the country attended the festivity show at the airbase, singing and dancing as part of the Christmas Eve traditions. And in Beijing, hundreds of people attended Christmas Eve Mass despite reported restrictions on festivities. According to state media, the ruling Communist Party has warned against celebrating Christmas and the influence of Western religious cultures. You're with National EMTV News. We go for a break now and be back with more after these messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back to National EMTV News. Christians are attending Mass in the holy city of Bethlehem, which is believed to be the birthplace of Jesus. But amid all festivities, the mood is decidedly different this year after recent protest over US President Donald Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. The Catholic faithful also packed the St. Peter Basilica earlier, where Pope Francis celebrated the Holy Mass, calling for immigrants to be respected.
Decorations here are beautiful. The mood among the crowd here is still joyous and festive. The problem is that crowd is largely not here for a number of different reasons. One of those, certainly on this night especially, is the fact that it's cold, it's rainy, and it's becoming quite windy. This year, 2017, was the best year for tourism, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Tourism, but that all declined dramatically over the last few weeks after President Trump's recognition of Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, largely because of fear of demonstrations, which certainly have happened, but even those have begun to taper off. The hotel owners, the shop owners here, hoping that tourism rebounds, and even if this year can't end strong, that at least 2018 can begin with a very strong year.
The leprosy mission in Papua New Guinea says leprosy is still a public health problem in the country. They revealed that hundreds of people are diagnosed with leprosy annually. While many may think it's not an issue, the challenge for government now is to allocate for funding support.
Leprosy is still considered a public health problem in Papua New Guinea. According to the country leader of the leprosy mission in Papua New Guinea, Natalie Smith, there are hundreds of new leprosy cases reported annually in the country.
In PNG now, there's between 400 and 500 new cases every year all over Papua New Guinea. But there's some provinces that are called high endemic, which there's more leprosy than others. And those provinces are actually NCD and Central, Gulf and Western Province, Sundown Province, and East New Britain.
The leprosy mission, through its work in PNG, have come to realize that people are still ill-informed on the signs and symptoms of leprosy. They are encouraging people to seek medical help from clinics near them if they see lighter-colored skin patches on their body with loss of sensation on these patches. Leprosy is curable and people are encouraged to complete their medicine to be cured completely.
It's a bacteria, so it's treated with antibiotics, and there's a set regime of blister pack medication supplied by the World Health Organization for free. So it's really easy. If you can get to the health clinic, you can get diagnosed. The treatment is available in PNG, and you have to take it for 1 year usually, but it's really important that you take the medicine for the whole period of time. In Papua New Guinea, one of the problems is that people start the medicine for a few months and then they stop taking it. And this is actually a big problem because it leads to drug resistance, and it also means the person doesn't get cured of leprosy, so the sickness can come back again.
Action is now needed to curb leprosy in PNG.
In all of PNG, when you average out all the provinces, we're still under that rate as a whole country, but there seems to be more new cases coming up now, and so there's concern that we'll tip over that mark again in the future if action isn't taken soon to make sure people are getting their treatment, they're taking it fully, and that they're aware about leprosy in their community.
Florence Jonduo, National EMTV News.
Large-scale industries have been given a stern warning not to venture into the second legally declared conservation area at Managalas in Afore district of Northern Province. What people want is sustainable development that comes with returns of benefits.
The recently declared Managalas Conservation Area in the Afara district of Oro Province sits on invaluable natural resources. A stern warning is now given to large-scale industries to keep out of the 360,000 hectares of conservation area.
Getting this area concept is one thing, but it can easily be broken. And we are people who knows what this plateau can produce. We are sitting right on top of a huge pot of gold and copper and nickel, right here at Idokama. The miners are always around. They don't sleep. And they will come in and they will create weaknesses amongst the people, and then people can actually break the conservation area. So that's the biggest challenge that we have to watch out and keep a lookout so that these thieves do not come around.
The people and their partners such as the Rainforest Foundation of Norway and partners with Melanesians emphasize that large-scale operations such as mining and logging do not really benefit the people, but only serves the mere purpose of generating profit.
I'm one of those who do not really believe that some of these large-scale industrial kind of logging operations or mining operations really do benefit, because people are not prepared to take that on. Yes, it creates a bit of jobs, and of course there's revenue for the government as such, but for the people themselves, they need to rely on the resources and what they have on their own land in order to develop their own communities. There's nobody else that can do that for them.
Florence John Duo, National MTV News.
Back to some Christmas stories, and many families today have gathered to celebrate Christmas in their own ways, whether at churches, in their homes or communities. But for the Habaka family who reside outside Port Moresby, it was all about teaching their children about the true meaning of Christmas.
About 20 minutes outside from Port Moresby is Beko Beko village, a small family community. Christmas for this family is special because they were teaching their children about the true meaning of Christmas.
And it was very interesting because all pequeñini blow me all no savelo meaning of Christmas. So by this time we wanted our little children to know what the Christmas means. Blow Bethlehem Jesus.
Anna explains Christmas activities have always been similar, like having special meals. So this year, they have changed their plan and was to simply teach their children about Christmas.
Started first with the Christmas carols. Okay, behind the Christmas carols now, people have been making little drama about Mary and Joseph, Jesus' birth in Bethlehem.
Stacy Yalo, National MTV News.
The carols by candlelight at Bomana Jail outside Port Moresby has been described as an interesting festive activity. Over 700 inmates gathered at the main compound with correctional officers and the Bomana community to celebrate Christmas Eve.
It was nothing but just the light of candles surrounding the main prison compound. Close to 8,000 people attended the Christmas carols last night. It began with just one lit candle, whose flame was passed throughout the compound.
Absolutely, yes. Matthew and his group came from Veifa. We've had 2 years ago they came at daytime. This time they've come in the night to be part of it, and that's. We're still partners in many aspects, and it's adding value to what we, we look at ourselves, and it's not a good celebration. But when we have our relatives and our friends.
Jail Commander Kirikeko was very pleased with the turnout of the event. Commander Keko said the inmates are part of the larger community and have to be part of any celebration the country observes.
Our our effort in also as Christians, as Christians, we encourage that in the prison here, and much of that is happening here in terms of the change in attitudes and behavior by our detainees. Is all going back to focus is Jesus Christ.
This is the second time for Bomana Jail to host Christmas candles. This is the second time for Bomana Jail to host Christmas carols at Christmas Eve, something not observed in most prisons in the country. The carols is just part of a number of activities the inmates are hosting this year to celebrate the festive season. Thakla Gunga, National, MTV News.
Pope Francis says immigrants must be respected because they are part of the global community. While celebrating the Christmas Eve Mass, Pope Francis says justice must be served. The pontiff also prayed for numerous victims of the storm that has so far killed nearly 200 and left 70,000 homeless in the Philippines. And this morning, 20 people were killed in a road accident in the Philippines as well, while on the way for Christmas service.
Pope Francis strongly defended immigrants in his Christmas Eve Mass, comparing them to Mary and Joseph, finding no place to stay in Bethlehem and saying faith demands that foreigners be embraced.
Nei passi di Giuseppe e Maria si nascondono tanti passi.
So many other footsteps are hidden in the footsteps of Joseph and Mary. We see the tracks of entire families forced to set out in our own day. We see the tracks of millions of persons who do not choose to go away, but driven from their land, leave behind their dear ones.
Francis, celebrating his 5th Christmas as leader of the world's 1.2 billion Catholics, led a solemn mass for about 10,000 people in St. Peter's Basilica, where many others followed the service from the square outside.
Mossi dalla gioia del dono, piccolo bambino di Betlemme.
Moved by the joy of the gift, the child of Bethlehem, we ask that your crying may shake us from our indifference and open our eyes to those who are suffering. May your tenderness awaken our sensitivity and recognize our call to see you in all those who arrive in our cities, in our histories, in our lives.
Francis called for a new social imagination in which no one must feel that there is no room for them on this earth.
E questa stessa fede ci spinge a dare spazio a una nuova immaginazione.
This same faith impels us to make space for a new social imagination and not to be afraid of experiencing new forms of relationship in which none have to feel that there is no room for them on this earth. Christmas is a time for turning the power of fear into the power of charity, into power for a new imagination of charity.
Il benedicio Dei Omnipotentis, Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sanctus.
On Christmas Day, Francis delivered his twice yearly blessings to the city and to the world.
I hope that the people would be more forgiving towards one another, whatever their religion is, more accepting, so that we will all live in harmony. Just apply also the golden rule. Whatever you don't want to be done unto you, don't do it unto them.
I think that the Pope
signifies a lot of hope for a lot of people, and that he has the power to bring a lot of people together through religion and through faith, and even for people that are not very religious, that he signifies a lot for a lot of people, and he has the power, he has the reach to have a great audience and an ear.
Fabian Haklitz, National EMTV News.
Here with National EMTV News, we'll have more after these messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Turning overseas now, United States President Donald Trump, while on holiday at his Florida resort, is sending his Christmas greetings to his military troops.
Well, Michael, we're seeing a little bit of what we would expect from a traditional president, and of course a little bit of a Trumpian twist as usual on his vacation holiday. Earlier today, he did speak via video conference with troops who are deployed across the world. Here's what he said.
I just wanted to wish everybody a very, very Merry Christmas. We say Christmas again very proudly. Very, very Merry Christmas. We're going to have a great year. It's going to be an incredible year. I'm thrilled to bring season's greetings on behalf of the First Lady and our entire family, and most importantly, on behalf of the American people.
So you see him offering season's greetings, and he and the First Lady are expected to participate in a Santa tracker later this afternoon. All stuff we would expect a president to be doing around this time on the Christmas holiday. But one of the other things that Trump decided to do today was to go after the deputy director of the FBI on Twitter. Now, Trump has not held back in his criticism of the Department of Justice or of the FBI more broadly since he has taken office. Now he's taking aim at a top law enforcement official. As for the White House response to this, we heard from the deputy the director of legislative affairs from the White House, Mark Short, earlier today, who insisted the president does have confidence in the FBI now that he has chosen a new leader, but he wants to ensure that this law enforcement agency is absent of any bias.
Tiny Tim, Bob Cratchit, and of course Ebenezer Scrooge have become iconic characters of Christmas. But the wonders of the Charles Dickens of Christmas carols are of course enjoyed around the world. A Christmas Past in London shows how Dickens brought these characters to life. In the meantime, the movie Mr. Pip, filmed in the autonomous region of Bougainville, was also based on a book by Charles Dickens, Great Expectations, which also scooped an award in 2014.
In a gilded frame, 3 little photographs of the grizzled old literary lion. This is Dickens as we remember him, looking older than his years, simply worn out and probably conscious of it. He died at just 58. The Dickens Museum in London is in a Georgian terrace in Bloomsbury with a requisite blue plaque. This is 48 Doughty Street, the house he rented as a young married man. Here on display are some of his writing tools, his quill and inkwell, his magnifying glass, his cigar box, and something that went with him every time he moved home. It's naturally showing its age, but this is Charles Dickens's actual writing desk. It's where he wrote Nicholas Nickleby, Oliver Twist, Great Expectations, and this rather handsome little volume. This is a proof copy of Christmas Carol, published on December 19th, 1843. 6,000 copies. They sold out on Christmas Eve. It's a beautiful object, finely bound, gold lettering on the front and spine. The first story that Dickens ever published directly as a book, rather than in serial form in a periodical. The illustrations by John Leach, a young caricaturist with Punch magazine, 4 in colour. The museum is currently showing Leach's initial pencil sketches, the first faint apparition of that wonderfully named miser, Ebenezer Scrooge. Being Dickens, our story is naturally a tale of 2 cities. New York is celebrating him this Christmas too, with a special exhibition at the Morgan Library.
So this is the original manuscript of A Christmas Carol, and you see these very clotted pages where they're heavily revised. He's changing his mind, he's going back, but it's all pouring out of him. The level of artistic energy there, I think is almost sort of bouncing off the page when you look at it.
It's somehow thrilling to see the names in Dickens's own almost illegible hand. Ebenezer Scrooge, Bob Cratchit, and of course Tiny Tim. Now, would you have recognised Dickens from this, the earliest known photograph, a daguerreotype from 1850? He was then 38. In his 40s and 50s, A Christmas Carol became one of his favourite readings in his celebrated tours.
They were like rock concerts, his readings. I mean, people just were so thrilled to be in his actual physical presence. The fact that he was also a brilliant actor was such a huge bonus. People could scarcely believe their luck.
Dickens's farewell American tour in the late 1860s earned him the modern equivalent of $1.5 million. Poignantly, a ticket stub for a reading in London on February the 1st, 1870. It was to be among his last. A mere 4 months later, the great writer, the great performer of his own works, was dead, leaving an empty chair by his writing desk. This engraving became a Christmas bestseller that year.
United States President Donald Trump says that he wrapped up his first year in the White House for the holiday with a gift to the American taxpayers, a huge tax cut. But for some, there is another gift as seen on TV.
Prepare to be blown away by this Christmas gift just by the fact that it exists.
The wind whispered through the forest, "I come when the trumpet sounds." Introducing the original Trumpy Bear.
Is this really a thing? Reads a typical comment.
Just find the secret zipper and pull out the flag blanket. Then
This looks like a bad SNL skit. Read another.
Everyone knows Trumpy Bear loves to go to the golf course.
When I ride with Trumpy Bear, he makes my golf game great again. Thank you, Trumpy Bear.
Is this crap for real? Read a third.
Simply style his trademark hair.
You betcha.
Order now for only 2 payments of $19.95.
I can personally vouch for Trumpy Bear. He exists. We have one. A company that specializes in seen-on-TV ads is doing the marketing for the woman who created Trumpy Bear. Nothing partisan, the VP says. We'd like everyone to buy it, meaning Trump lovers and haters.
Trumpy Bear is proudly made in America. I'm kidding, it's made in China.
The most fearless bear anywhere.
That's right, he will kick Winnie the Pooh's ass.
Instantly recognizable with its red tie and its combable hair. No wonder critics are making small hands jokes. I am disappointed with the size of its paws. One thing Trumpy Bear cannot do is tweet. No fingers. Hey, if President Teddy Roosevelt can inspire teddy bears, why can't President Trump inspire Trumpy Bears?
I'm proud to have Trumpy Bear ride by my side.
Its maker is planning some design changes in the new year, but it will still come with
Receive a special certificate of authenticity.
so that you know who can't say,
Why doesn't he show his birth certificate?
God bless Trumpy Bear.
And you're with National MTV News. We go for a break now. When we come back, some sporting updates in Trukai Sports. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. PNG Karate Do President Karl Murray says 2018 will be a big year for karate. They are looking forward to the Oceania Championships as well as the World Championships, and every top athlete will be given an opportunity to take part in their individual categories.
The PNG Karate Do has concluded to 2018 on a high note, winning 8 medals at the recent Mini Pacific Games in Vanuatu. President Karl Murray says next year will come with a swing of numerous events.
Next year in May, there'll be the main Oceania Championships. Since 2016, I was in a meeting in Nomea where we made a decision to have Oceania Championships every year. And the main championship will happen every 2 years. But alternatively, in the next year, there'll be a seniors championships. So next year will be the main championship where we'll basically have all the categories involved, starting from juniors all the way to seniors.
Mari has urged all athletes and associations around the country to be positive, looking forward to the future.
Basically, I like to send out a message to all the karate clubs, associations around the country, even our guys in Leh, that whatever has happened this year, it's gone. We basically appreciate the fact that we haven't achieved some of the things that we want to do throughout this year, but hopefully next year, God willing, we'll try to get our athletes, make a good selections from the tournaments that we have in the year to make selections for the future.
Next year will be busy for athletes, with the hope of bringing more athletes to the Oceania event in their respective categories.
We are hoping to send a good number there, knowing very well that we are not in the 2019 Pacific Games because karate is not included in the program. So we need to make use of what's available to us now.
Godwin Eki, National, MTV Sports.
Organisers of the NCD Governor's Christmas Cup have thanked Governor Paul Spakop for his ongoing support towards the tournament. The Governor has sponsored the tournament in the past few years since taking office.
We like acknowledging man ko pass na man sponsoring this tournament. The NCD Governor believe Honorable Paul Spakop, initiating this project where league will come up na every annually put him NCD Christmas Cup where we talk thank you long fund him support him every festive season.
The Koyari community from around Port Moresby today united through the spirit of sport. They braved the heat to enjoy a game of volleyball and others that were planned for Christmas games.
Koyari residents from the suburbs of 5 Mile, 8 Years, 9 Mile, 14 Mile and 16 Mile all gathered at the 16 Mile SDA Church ground for a game of volleyball for the adults and teen game for the children.
This is Christmas fun mitla play. Game when mitla play now am no money game but mitla just sama same Christmas.
Alu said they come together every year to enjoy Christmas lunch and few games. The games played are not for cash or prize, but fun.
Tomorrow bamitla continue lo round 2 bamitla. Na bamitla go through lo knockouts lo after lunch na final lo maybe around 3 to 4 lo tomorrow.
There were 6 volleyball teams with games expected to end tomorrow, and not forgetting the children's teen games. Stacey Yellow, National, MTV Sports.
And we'll be back with more of Trukai Sports after these messages. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
And the fallout from Real Madrid's 3-0 El Clasico loss at the hand of bitter rivals Barcelona in their own backyard continues. But it was a truly remarkable game.
This Christmas break, Real's year is ending on a downer. They finished second in their Champions League group and now have to face in-form Paris Saint-Germain in the next round of the tournament. And alarmingly, for a club of this stature, they're fourth in La Liga, 14 points behind league-leading Barcelona. Inevitably, of course, it means the spotlight now falls on the man who actually picks the team. In this case, it's the club's French head coach and highly decorated former player, Zinedine Zidane. Hard to think that he's actually under pressure. After all, he's overseen back-to-back Champions League triumphs. But remember, this is Real Madrid we're talking about.
No, para nada. Para nada, porque estoy aquí para...
I'm here to make decisions. I'm not going to regret anything. In the first half, if we scored some goals, the game would have been different. We didn't do that. I know I'm going to get a lot of criticism, but this is football. I am never going to change whatever happens. I think today, we're bad. It's a loss that hurts a lot, but nothing else. What we're going to do is look forward. Everyone thinks La Liga is finished, but I don't think so. I don't think the other manager thinks so either. We're going to continue with our work, because it wasn't a bad year.
To Australia now, and the annual Sydney to Hobart yacht race is soon to begin. Here is a quick preview.
After being freakishly struck by lightning last week, Mark Richards insists the worst is behind Wild Oats 11.
bit like throwing a stick in the front tyre of your push bike when you're going down a hill, but, you know, that's just the way it is.
This year's Sydney-Hobart will be a slower affair than last year's race, with light winds expected for the first 2 days. But the battle for Lion Honours will be no less enthralling.
I think it's too tough to call who's going to be where at what time. I think we're looking at one of the most intense and exciting races for a long period of time.
Benign conditions will bring smaller boats into the mix for overall honours. The maxi skippers are only focused on being fastest.
Tough race for the big boats, but yeah, it's all about, we're all here for the one reason, and that's not handicap, so looking forward to it.
A welcome challenge for Mark Bradford, whose Blackjack is built for light air.
Oh, look, our boat within this group is the light air boat. Everyone's got a little bit different spot that they will thrive in, and our boat certainly is the light air boat.
Nestled between an Olympic gold medalist and an 8-time Sydney-Hobart winning skipper, Christian Beck happily admits he's a fish out of water. For the new owner of InfoTrack, it's been a steep learning curve.
Considering this is my first station race, and 4 months ago I really had no idea about any of these things.
Tom Slingsby takes the helm from Anthony Bell as the boat formerly known as Perpetual Oil looks to defend its record-breaking 2016 crown. 103 yachts will set off for Hobart from Sydney Harbour on Boxing Day.
And that's it for True Kai Sports. We go for a break now. When we come back, the weather details for Boxing Day. Stay tuned.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
A look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. We begin in the southern region as always. A shower or two expected in Popondetta. Mostly fine for Port Moresby, Daru, Kerma and Alatau. To the Momasi region, a shower or two expected in Leh and Wau. Showers and thunderstorms for Vanimo. Showers as well for Medang and Wewak. To the New Guinea Islands region, partly cloudy for Kavieng. A few showers expected in Lorengau, Kokopo, Rabaul, Kimbe. And a shower or two as well for Buka. And in the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg, all these major centers can expect some showers with early morning fog.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And before we go, a recap of our top stories this evening. More Christmas babies in 2017. The importance of teaching families the true meaning of Christmas, and NCD Top Cop calls on city residents to be more responsible. And that has been the news sport and weather for today, Monday the 25th of December, Christmas Day. Merry Christmas to you all. We leave you with Justice Crew singing at the Australian Carols by Candlelight Ceremony in Australia. And that has been the news sport and weather. As I said, on behalf of the NTV News team, pleasant viewing. Good night.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells ring, jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up bushes of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells chiming, jingle bells high. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air. What a bright time, it's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time, it's the swell time to go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet. Jingle around the clock. Mix and a mingle and a jingle a beat. That's the Jingle Bell Rock.
And now we made it. Christmas time so fly like reindeer. Run around getting gifts in the mad rush. Send a wish you were here's on the stamp card. Kick back once everything's wrapped up. Don't forget a little something to
the bright side, it's the right side to rock the night away.
Rock the night away.
Jingle bell time, it's a swell sign to go riding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet, jingle around the clock. Mix and mingle in a jingling beat. That's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell ride.